At this time, please rise for the arrival of the official party, which has happened, and remain standing for the presentation of the colors in the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. What a great way to kick off this year's Military Spouse Employment Partnership New Partner Induction Ceremony. A huge thank you to the Military District of Washington's Joint Armed Forces Color Guard. And how about the U.S. Army's Brass Quintet featuring Sergeant Major Rick Lee, Master Sergeant John Voth, Master Sergeant Kevin Gibo, Staff Sergeant Michael Berner, and Staff Sergeant Andrew Boylan. My name is Eddie Menser, and according to my LinkedIn profile, I'm a father, the spouse of a United States Air Force veteran, and an associate director overseeing the Department of Defense's spouse employment portfolio. What it does not say is that I also have the privilege of serving as today's MC for the 2025 Military Spouse Employment Partnership New Partner Induction Ceremony, which I will not say again because it's a really long title, where we celebrate our largest class ever of 234 new employer partners. Now, before we jump into the agenda, I would be remiss if I did not recognize some of those that are in attendance today. First, our official party. The host for today's ceremony, the Principal Director of the Office of the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Military, Community, and Family Policy, Ms. Lee Kelly. Performing the duties of the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Manpower and Reserve Affairs, Mr. Timothy Dill. The Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Manpower and Reserve Affairs, Mr. Jeffrey Anger. Mr. Brian Gary, Vice President and Chief Human Resource Officer, Virginia Tech University. Ms. Maura Gardner, Human Resources Director, Virginia Tech Innovation Campus. And finally, the top spouse, Mrs. Shireen Brown, spouse of the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Charles Q. Brown. Also in attendance today is Ms. Christine Grady, spouse of Admiral Christopher Grady, the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and Mrs. Evelyn Hone, spouse of the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy. Thank you to all of our representatives and leaders from across the military services, the Office of the Secretary of Defense, other federal agencies, and our former Deputy Assistant Secretaries of Defense for Military, Community, and Family Policy, Ms. Rosemary Williams, Mr. Ron Cohane, Ms. A.T. Johnston, Ms. Kim Joyner, and Mrs. Patricia Montez Barron, each of whom has had a profound impact on the MSEP program over the years. And finally, to our MSEP employer partners, both enduring and new. Thank you for joining the more than 850 employers that have committed to recruiting, hiring, promoting, and retaining military spouses in your organizations. To kick us off, it is my privilege to welcome to the stage the host for today's ceremony, the Principal Director of the Office of the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Military, Community, and Family Policy, Ms. Lee Kelly.
I am so excited to be here with you this afternoon. Before I jump in, I just have to say, so many pieces and parts go into the logistics to get everyone in this room this afternoon. So could I ask for a big round of applause for Eddie Menser and his spouse employment team. So today we are here to celebrate the Department of Defense's Military Spouse Employment Partnership and our mutual commitment to connecting military spouses to employers who recognize their tremendous talent. As we all know, there can be obstacles to finding and maintaining meaningful employment as a military spouse due to the demands of frequent relocations and the sometimes unpredictable nature of military life. The Department of Defense recognizes these challenges, but more importantly, so do you. Whether you are an enduring partner or a new partner, you recognize the national strategic imperative that military spouse employment presents. For us, this is our work. This is what we do every day. But for each of you here today, you don't have to be here, but you are. As MSEP employer partners, you have taken the first step to support the financial security of our military families. MSEP has grown tremendously since its inception in 2011, starting with just 45 employer partners. This all actually started with the Army Spouse Employment Partnership. Are there any partners in the room who joined under ASEP? No, I think we're focused on the new. Okay. As an Army veteran myself, I'm proud that it was Army leading the way on this one. As the saying goes, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. We took what Army created and expanded the program to encompass Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force spouses, and of course today, the Space Force. The expanded program, the Military Spouse Employment Partnership, or MSEP, officially launched in June of 2011 during a ceremony at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. This commitment has led to the recruitment, hiring, promotion, and retention of military spouses by more than 1,000 companies and organizations, a remarkable milestone in our ongoing mission. Today, 14 years later, more than 900 of those partners remain actively engaged in the MSEP program. Each of these employers has made a commitment to recruit and retain military spouses, not just as employees, but as valuable assets to their workforce. In fact, these partners have hired more than 360,000 military spouses to date. If I have a chance to talk with you later, I would really love to hear more about the individual stories of these spouse hires. A key component of MSEP's success is the recognition and celebration of its partners. Last year, we began to include small businesses in MSEP, a trend that continues to increase with many local employers joining this year. We recognize that small businesses are the heartbeat of local economies. The class of 2025 also includes a large number of local and state governments. We are really excited about this new trend, recognizing the many opportunities that exist in local government. This partnership that we belong to serves two critical purposes. First, we connect military spouses directly to you, the employers who have committed to recruiting, hiring, promoting, and retaining them. Second, we educate new employers regarding the military spouse talent pool. Last year, we deployed the candidate search function, which allows employer partners to directly find military spouse talent, and in its first year, you conducted more than 30,000 candidate searches. MSEP employer partners report that they are able to search for candidates, review their profile and resume, and reach directly to prospective candidates. We have seen success where spouses have been hired into positions they didn't even know existed. We also connect talent to opportunity through our virtual hiring fairs. Just last month, we hosted a virtual hiring fair focused on remote work, attended by more than 1,000 spouses. MSEP employer partner Apex Systems received 80+ resumes. Lastly, an innovative way to bring in talent is through the Military Spouse Career Accelerator Pilot. We recognize that many of you are hosting Spouse Fellows through this effort. This amazing program has seen more than 900 spouses placed into paid fellowships over the last 2 years, with more than 80% of them receiving employment offers from their employer host. Each year that we host this event, we bring together employers, military spouse advocates, and leaders in the field. These meetings are more than just celebrations. They are opportunities to network, collaborate, and share insights on how to better recruit, promote, and retain military spouses. At these events and throughout the year, we encourage employers to not just be mil-spouse friendly, but mil-spouse ready. What does that mean? It means proactively creating environments where military spouses can thrive. It's not just about offering a job, but a career with real growth and development opportunities. The work we do here today and every day is vital, not only to the success of military spouses, but to the continued strength and readiness of our nation. The contributions of military spouses are immeasurable. They support our military service members so they can better focus on the mission and our national defense. Thank you to all the partners who have already committed to this cause, and thank you to everyone who continues to work together to make the dream of meaningful employment a reality for military spouses across the country. Let's continue to build on this momentum, network with each other, and collaborate to break down barriers and open new doors of opportunity for military spouses. Together, we can ensure that every military spouse has a chance to thrive in their career while continuing to support their families and the military readiness of their service members. Many of the efforts we are talking about over the next 2 days fall under the Office of the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Manpower and Reserve Affairs. And so it is my honor to introduce our next speaker. A retired Army officer with more than 35 years in the defense community with previous positions as the Director of Business Innovation in Army's Office of Business Transformation and as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Army for Military Personnel Quality of Life. Today, I'm very happy that he is one of my bosses, the Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Manpower and Reserve Affairs, Mr. Jeff Angers. His portfolio includes the entire life cycle of a service member, from recruiting and accessions through casualty and mortuary affairs, including all personnel, programs, and policy. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Jeff Angers.
Oops. Well, thank you, Lee. I greatly appreciate the introduction. For those of you that know me, I'm not a great public speaker, so you always hope when you come to these events that the person in front of you bombs, right, to make you look good. Obviously, my hope did not come reality, right? So first I want to start by acknowledging and extending my heartfelt appreciation for our distinguished guest. We greatly appreciate you being here. I am going to point a couple folks out to thank them because someone once told me it's always good to acknowledge your bosses in public settings. So Mr. Cohane, thank you greatly for being here. Mr. Dill, thank you for being here also. And of course, I can't go by without mentioning the incomparable Patty Barron. And yeah, am I choking up a little bit? Yeah, I am. Patty has done more for military spouses than anyone I know, and I can't say enough. Thank you. So, as I said, it's truly a privilege to be here today as we celebrate the continued success and impact of MSEP. As you all know, a few things in the personnel arena are happening in the Pentagon. So the fact that me and Tim are here today really means something, right? It means this program is important. Anyone who thought we had nothing better to do has not read the newspapers. So we're here because this is such a critical program for the Army. I'm going to try to limit my remarks to the 8 minutes that Lee gave me. I don't actually think I'll go that long. I'm going to focus on 3 things. First of all, I want to thank our new MSEP partners and our existing MSEP partners. Talk a little bit about the importance of MSEP to the Department of Defense. And then I'm going to give you a challenge at the end, right? A challenge for all our partners and for our folks within the MCFP team. So first, like I said, I want to thank you. I truly thank you for being here. For those that have been MSEP partners over the year and have hired 300,000 folks, if I got that right, thank you. It means so much to our military, our families, our spouses, so thank you. As you know, MSEP ensures military spouses have opportunities not just for employment, but for building meaningful long careers, right? And that is so important. We deeply appreciate each of you joining this initiative and look forward to establishing a lasting and productive relationship into the future. Your contributions and your support are invaluable. We are excited about the difference we can make together. So why MSEP? Why is it so important? First of all, the department is committed to improving the economic security and quality of life for our service members, our spouses, and our families. And if you notice, I use the word "our" in front of all of it because these people are our families. We have worked hard to eliminate the economic security. We have worked hard to eliminate roadblocks in the path of spouse employment and will continue to create opportunities for military spouses. But to be honest, this isn't totally selfless. The success of our military is directly related to the strength and stability of our families. This depends on our military spouses having access to quality employment. Providing real, tangible support and resources for spouse employment is critical to retention because employed spouses are more likely to support their service members staying in the military. MSEP strengthens the military community, reduces stress, increases well-being, and promotes pride and purpose. It is the lifeline for thousands of our military families, empowering our spouses, strengthening our communities, and enhancing military readiness. We continually strive to make this program better and encourage feedback for ongoing improvement from each and every one of you. Now the challenge. For those familiar with President Teddy Roosevelt's speech at the Sorbonne in April of 1910, I want you, our partners, to be the man or woman or partner in the arena. I want you to actually be in the arena. Be an active participant, not a critic on the sideline. Strive valiantly. If you fail, do so daringly. And most important, spend your time on this worthy issue. How do you do this? It's not difficult. Ensure jobs are posted on the portal. We made me say that. Report your hires on a monthly basis. Engage in MSEP hiring events. But most importantly, hire our military spouses. And for those in the arena, I want to preview that we will be launching an initiative this year to recognize our partners who might rise to this challenge. No trophies or cash awards, sorry. Lawyers won't let us do it. My boss is a lawyer. But public recognition, thanking you for your valiant efforts, and there'll be more to follow. So with that, again, I thank you all for your patience listening to me today. We look forward to seeing your efforts and celebrating your successes, and we hope you'll accept the challenge and join us making a significant impact in support of our service members, our spouses, and our families. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly and Mr. Angers. Excellent opportunities abound, and that really is what today's ceremony is about, is realizing those opportunities for military spouses. One of the questions we hear a great deal is, what does MSEP do? What's the impact of MSEP? And Ms. Kelly gave kind of the elevator pitch, that we educate employers regarding the challenges facing military spouses when it comes to meaningful employment. We connect military spouses to employers that want to include them in their workforce. But it's so much more than that. MSEP is longtime partner JP Morgan Chase, reaching out to launch a special hiring initiative towards the end of last year, and 8 weeks later hiring more than 40 military spouses into remote positions in the DMV area, the District of the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And we're so excited that we're going to continue that partnership this year and expand those opportunities. But that was JP Morgan Chase reaching out to us. It was not us reaching out to JP Morgan Chase. They saw an opportunity. They jumped on that opportunity. And the result was 40 spouses hired in an 8-week period. MSEP is more than 1,000 military spouses participating in this month's virtual hiring fair. MSEP is the state of Maryland adopting the Families Serve Act of 2024, authorizing private employers to grant a preference in hiring and promotion to active duty military spouses. MSEP is Spouse Ambassador Partner SHRM, aka the Society for Human Resource Management, partnering with MSEP Partner USAA to develop the report, What Employers Should Know About Hiring Military Spouses. Should be mandatory reading for everybody in this room. MSEP is corporations and small businesses, nonprofits, and public sector employers, accessing the MSEP Partner Portal 19,000 times over the last 6 months and conducting 24,000 candidate searches. Traditionally, we focus our employer spotlight on an MSEP employer that has really gone above and beyond in their commitment to ensuring military spouses have opportunities for meaningful careers over time. This year, we're switching it up a little bit to focus on one of our inductees who has already jumped into the deep end and is making huge investments in the military spouse employment space. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Brian Gary, Vice President of Chief Human Resource Officer at Virginia Tech University, and Ms. Maura Gardner, Human Resources Director at the Virginia Tech Innovation Campus, and most importantly, she holds the title of Military Spouse. Brian and Maura.
Well, good afternoon. What a pleasure to be here. Again, my name is Brian Gary, and I serve as the Vice President and Chief Human Resources Officer at Virginia Tech. And it is truly an honor to be here. 1,000 partners, 250 being inducted today. To be part of that select group is really humbling. And we are ready to embrace the charge to continue the work that we do to support military spouses. It really is an honor. Virginia Tech has a deep history of service and support of the military, and in this partnership, it makes it even more special. Thank you for inviting us, including us, and allowing us a few moments to tell you a little bit about Virginia Tech. So I'm going to assume that most folks in the room have heard of Virginia Tech. I know for a fact, in meeting John a little bit, both of his kids are graduates of Virginia Tech. So I'm curious, how many folks in this room have some family connection to Virginia Tech? If you'll raise your hands up. Okay. That's great. I bet there's about 10% in the room. That's great. We're growing, by the way. We're growing. How many folks have graduated? Do we have an alum in the room from Virginia Tech? Would you mind standing up? Good for you. Wonderful. Thank you. The Hokie Nation is everywhere, and we are growing. So a little bit about Virginia Tech. We were founded as a land-grant mission in 1872 under the name of Virginia Agricultural and Mechanical College. And at the time of our founding, all of the students were cadets, and they were organized into a battalion of 2 companies, which is how the tradition began. From the very beginning, we were connected to military excellence. And 153 years later, we have grown to become the most comprehensive university in the Commonwealth of Virginia with 280 undergraduate and graduate degree programs. We have more than 38,000 undergraduate, graduate, and professional students. We manage a research portfolio of more than $556 million, and we employ more than 17,000 employees, including our faculty, staff, graduate assistants, and students. And we have offices in every county in the Commonwealth and significant campuses in Roanoke and, of course, our Blacksburg campus. But how many folks, I hope you have seen a brand new campus that we just opened right down the road. You can walk to it. It's open to the public. It's a beautiful building towering over Reagan National Airport, and that is our new innovation campus. It literally opened 2 weeks ago, and we welcomed our first set of students from all over the world to create master's degree programs, largely in technology, so that we can help cultivate the talent pipeline here in the nation's capital. So please do come and see us. We are open to the public every day. We are one of only 2 large public universities in the nation that maintains a full-time corps of cadets. And we have, and I just ran into our commandant, the interim commandant, before our new commandant starts in a few months. And this number is even larger than I thought. 1,250 of our students are cadets in our corps. It's the largest in the country. And again, it's a testament to our motto and really a core value of Virginia Tech, and that is ut prosum, that I may serve. And so service is fundamental in all we do. It's certainly integral to the Corps of Cadets, and it transcends into all of our disciplines at Virginia Tech, and I think extends also to the work that we do in trying to bring in really wonderfully talented folks, and certainly the talent that's represented by military spouses. And our military tradition is exemplified in all kinds of ways that I'd like to just highlight briefly. We have an Office of Veteran Services that works directly to connect veterans with resources, whether it's academic, financial, social resources, working with the U.S. Department of Veteran Services to receive documentation, to help with processing, to really support veterans and military students with their educational benefits. And a lot of this is about transitioning too, and so we have many programs to help with the proper transitions into study at Virginia Tech, which is a really tricky period for all students, but particularly folks that are military dependents and veterans. We offer financial aid and assistance programs to veterans and their dependents. We also are connected with a number of large organizations that are connected to veteran recruitment and support. We have been for many years certified as a V3 employer. Virginia values veterans, and we've been recognized over the years with a number of awards that we're quite proud of. We maintain a Virginia Department of Veterans Services Skill Bridge program, which offers transitioning services to members to help gain civilian skills through work experience. And we actually have a dedicated recruiter on our human resources team dedicated to veteran recruitment efforts. He, in fact, is also a proud veteran. We also partner with other organizations outside of Virginia Tech. We have the Boeing Center for Veteran Transition and Military Families, which is located right down the road at the Innovation Campus, which provides career resources as well as support for families during the transition to civilian life. And the director of that program, Debbie Bradbard, is in the room. Where are you, Debbie? Raising her hand over there. Debbie also is a military spouse, and she's leading that really wonderful effort in partnership with Boeing. Thank you. So we're doing a lot, and we're proud of it, and I'm really happy to tell the story. I hope that you'll come see us, not only here, but anywhere you are. In Roanoke, we have a huge, wonderful health sciences campus. Please come visit us in Blacksburg. Becoming a destination for talent is actually core to our strategic plan. We believe in it so strongly because we know in order to serve our mission, which is to educate leaders of tomorrow, to do cutting-edge research, to cure diseases, and to create new knowledge to help the world be a better place, to serve in so many ways, we have to have talented men and women as part of Virginia Tech. And so we have folks all over the country and even around the world supporting that mission, and certainly being affiliated with this fine program is, you know, it's wonderful to be thanked for being part of this and to be recognized with a forum like this, but the truth is we're the winner. because we are being connected with amazing, talented people. And having had the privilege of working with military spouses, which we have all over Virginia Tech, we know how flexible they are, how talented they are, the resilience that it takes to be part of a family that's committed to serving our country and all the demands that that takes. We know the independence of military spouses because they often have to function alone to take care of a family or to take care of just the family affairs while their spouse is in harm's way or away for long periods of time. And we also know the call to service that they share. And there's a great affiliation with our core mission. So it is a win for us. And we're so lucky to be part of this program and so grateful to have this few minutes with you. But don't take my word for it, even though I've now just given you 700 of my words. I really want you to hear a personal story. A wonderful colleague who leads our human resources efforts in the D.C. area, the Northern Virginia and D.C. area. She's housed in the Innovation Campus. She herself is a military spouse. Please welcome Maura Gardner.
Hi, and thank you, Brian. My name is Maura Gardner, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here today and to share a little bit about my journey as a military spouse and my incredible experience working at Virginia Tech. I come from a long line of military service. My grandfather was in the Coast Guard. My great-aunt Dot was a field nurse on D-Day at Normandy. 2 uncles and an aunt were Marines. My dad and 2 of my brothers graduated from the Naval Academy, while another brother decided to rebel. So he went to Norwich University and really showed it to my dad by commissioning into the Marine Corps. And even my mother was an Army nurse, graduating from the Walter Reed Army Institute of Nursing just across the river. So with that lineage, you might ask, what is my military service history? Well, I was smart. I married into the Air Force. Little did I know, a Missileers duty station would not be as coastal as I had become accustomed to as the daughter of an air boss. The Potomac River is the closest we've ever gotten to a beach duty station. However, my background has also made me keenly aware to the unique challenges of being a military dependent. Through hard work, a lot of grit, and a little bit of good luck, I'm excited to say that today I have the pleasure of speaking to you as the Director of Human Resources for Virginia Tech's Greater DC region. Having gone to UVA, I can also tell you, I never would have imagined saying this, but I am incredibly proud to be a Hokie. I say this with pride because the sense of community at Virginia Tech is truly remarkable. It's like everyone is on a mission to make sure that you succeed. And trust me, after dealing with the unpredictability of military life, that kind of stability is a breath of fresh air. Our motto, ut protsum, so that I may serve, is our guiding principle. And this university knows and honors service, sacrifice, and dedication, not unlike that of our military. But my road to Virginia Tech was winding and also filled with unique experiences that I never would have had I not been a military spouse. I began as a high school history teacher right outside of Langley Air Force Base, and then my career has evolved from working for Baltimore City Public Schools while my husband was stationed at NSA, to a diplomat in Canada, working on a family member appointment with the State Department in the embassy and getting all the perks of attaché life. My longest run, though, has been this, higher education. When we returned to DC, I didn't want to commute over to Foggy Bottom, and luckily I landed a job at George Mason University. At Mason, I worked my way up to a director of HR position, and then a once-in-a-lifetime job opened at Virginia Tech to be the director of HR for a brand new campus being built in Potomac Yards. I applied, and I got this job. Now, our 300,000 square foot campus is open, and we're holding classes. It is a monumental occasion for this great university. And our footprint in the DC area has allowed me, personally, to tap into our military talent pool. I've had the pleasure of employing 7 military spouses in my management area since I arrived just 2 years ago. That is a fact I'm incredibly proud of, because I believe that as we climb, we also need to do so with one hand forward and one behind to bring others up. But this university makes it so easy for me to do that. When a direct report told me that her husband was retiring from the Marine Corps and they would be moving back to Pennsylvania, instead of stressing, Because of Virginia Tech's commitment to retaining talent and understanding our military spouses, I was easily able to ask her to remain a Hokie and work remotely. When I've had to make traffic-filled trips to Walter Reed for myself or one of my 2 young sons, my supervisors have understood. When MHS Genesis just won't let me log in, my fellow spouses have been there to curse with me. And when you're the parent that daycare always calls because your husband works in a skiff, everyone in my office just gets it. Yeah, it's the worst though, yes. I can proudly say that my vice president even knows what time I have to be at daycare in the evening to pick up in order to not be fined. What time is it? 6:30. But it does come at great cost. Giving up command and coveted overseas postings to follow one's own aspirations is a reality for so many families, including my own. But truly, working at Virginia Tech has made many challenges just a little bit easier to bear. As a leader at Virginia Tech, I can say that we get it. We understand that sometimes life throws you a curveball and you just need to take a step back to catch it. Whether it's a sudden TDY, a very early Pentagon briefing, a sick child, or needing to simply talk to someone and vent, the support I've received has been nothing short of amazing. And as a leader at Virginia Tech, I've also had the pleasure of providing understanding to our spouses while also educating others on spousal employment and helping us formally pledge our commitment to MSEP. But to all my fellow military spouses, I want to say this. Yes, our lives are incredibly challenging, and we face obstacles that many will never understand. But we are resilient, we are strong, and we are capable of achieving great things. And if you're lucky enough to work at a workplace that's as wonderful as Virginia Tech, you'll discover that even in the midst of chaos, there can be great moments of joy, laughter, and incredible fulfillment. So thank you, Virginia Tech, for being a beacon of support and positivity in my life. And thank you all for listening. And let's continue to embrace this journey, even if it means a duty station in Minot, North Dakota. And of course, go Hokies.
Mr. Gary, Ms. Gardner, thank you so much, not only for being with us today, but for your personal commitments to our nation and our military community. The work being done at the Innovation Campus and across Virginia Tech University has the potential to impact so many families. Thank you. 2024 saw immense growth across the MSEP program. Not only have we vetted our largest class ever, but we saw tremendous growth in the public sector, with multiple city and county governments across the nation signing on to incorporate military spouse talent in their workforce. Today, we recognize 117 of the 234 employer partners that joined the Military Spouse Employment Partnership in 2024. Some of the names will be very familiar. Many of them will not. Each partner has gone through a significant vetting process, ensuring their commitment is more than just words. Each has identified actions they can take to remain engaged. In some cases, they are small businesses that may not move the national needle, but at the local level have amazing opportunities to impact individual military spouses and military families in their local communities. In other cases, they have national and international employment footprints with the potential of impacting hundreds of spouses around the world. Ms. Kelly, Mr. Angers, and Mr. Dill, please move to stage center, and let's get started with the induction. Each company will be called to the stage for a photo with our hosts. Unlike a high school commencement, feel free to applaud each inductee. We will not make you wait until the end. And here we go, Rosemary's favorite part. First, Franklin Financial. You will notice that on the screen, not only do we have each inductee's logo, but a part of their commitment to MSEP. Acuity International. Aditi Consulting. Aerotech Incorporated. Air Force Research Laboratory. Akahi Associates. The Alabama Heroes Welcome Initiative. Alliant. American Armed Forces Mutual Aid Association. ArcBest. Ardmore Enterprises. The Arizona Coalition for Military Families. ATI Physical Therapy. Banner Bank. BD. Blue Cross North Carolina. Okay. BioLite. Builders First Source. Carasoft Technology Corporation. Charles County Public Schools. Not to be outdone by Charles County, Chesterfield County Public Schools. Child Care Aware of America. Chipotle Mexican Grill. The City of El Paso. The City of Hampton. The City of Newport, Rhode Island. The City of Newport News. The City of Virginia Beach. Clean Harbors. Copper River. Coleman International. Coleman International. Dog Tag Bakery. Drucker and Falk. Enbridge Incorporated. FedPoint. Fiserv. Flagstar Bank. Fundamental Administrative Services. Gold Belt Incorporated. Goosehead Insurance. Guidehouse. Health Partners Management Group. Huckle Investments. IEM International. iSolved. As a resident of St. Augustine, Florida, this next one is really important for me as I drive to the airport to get up here. Jacksonville Sheriff's Department. The Jewish War Veterans of the USA. KBR. Langley Federal Credit Union. Leidos QTC Health Services. LS Technologies. Mavin Incorporated. The Military Birth Resource Network and Postpartum Coalition. the Maryland National Capital Park Planning Commission. Morley. Move Caddy LLC. The National Domestic Violence Hotline. Next Care Urgent Care. The North Carolina Department of Transportation. ORC Industries. San Antonio Independent School District. Sanford Health. Silver Valley Unified School District. The South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs. Sport Clips Haircuts. Squared Away Partners. Sun Inc. Talent Technical Services. Telemind. Tenova. The Texas Commission of Environmental Quality. The Friedkin Group. The Houston Launchpad. The Michaels Organization. TLCX. Tlingit Haida Tribal Business Corporations. T-Mobile. the U.S. General Services Administration, the National Science Foundation, U.S. Patriot, USA Truck Incorporated, Virginia Department of Veterans Services, Virginia Tech University, Visa, Wesco International, Wipfli, ASCII Federal Services, Iowa Simmons, Breakaway Advising, Breakpoint Labs, Bryan and Bryan Inspections, Care Apparent, Creative Global Consulting, EMT Holdings, Fastport, Hampton Roads Downsizing, Herewith Incorporated, Home Care Freedom, Honor Brewing, Hudson Global Scholars, Interlink Commerce, Lauren Data Corporation, Monument Real Estate Services. National Industries for the Blind. Organized Q. Reading Futures. Road Sense. Special Ops Child Watch. Supply Corps. Talents Ascend. Tandem Resource Solutions. Technology and Military Success Academy. Thayer Leadership at West Point. The McPherson House Bed and Breakfast. Toivoa. Trewan Technologies. VertForce. Wise Advise and Assist Team. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing the Military Spouse Employment Partnership Class of 2024. It is now my honor to introduce our final speaker to provide closing remarks. In 2021, our speaker partnered with a team of fellow military spouses to launch a quality of life effort known as 5 and Thrive. This effort highlights the top 5 quality of life challenge areas affecting military members and their families today. These areas have been and will most likely continue to be the following: childcare, education, healthcare, housing, and spouse employment. These top 5 focus areas are directly tied to recruitment, readiness, resilience, and retention of the forces. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the spouse of the 21st Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Ms. Shireen Brown.
Welcome, everyone. This has been an amazing afternoon. Thank you, Eddie, for that welcoming, warmest remarks. I'm super excited to be here today and to see our newest inductees into this program. Thank you all for being here. So it is my privilege to be here today surrounded by an incredible group of leaders, innovators, and partners who are making a real difference in the lives of our military spouses. On behalf of military spouses everywhere, thank you for expanding the Military Spouse Employment Partnership, or MSEP, to the largest numbers yet. More partners mean more job opportunities for our military spouses, which is welcome news for every military family. That's why what you're doing matters. When a military spouse has access to meaningful employment, it strengthens their family financial security. It enhances their overall well-being. It fosters stability, not just for them, but for the service members and ultimately the readiness of our military force. When families thrive, our service members can focus on their mission. And when service members know their spouses have meaningful careers, they're more than likely to stay in the military, reducing turnover and strengthening our national defense. I am profoundly grateful for the 950 employment partners in the MSEP network, including the 234 employers who joined us in 2024. So whether you are a new partner or a legacy in the program, thank you for supporting our military families. Your commitment truly makes a difference. As with this year's theme, Engage, Empowering New Growth and Gaining Employees, it emphasizes the real impact that comes with action. We are most grateful for your involvement. Now, I have a call to action or request, if you will, for each of you today. Please continue to spread the word about the benefits of this MSEP within your networks. Your voice and influence are powerful tools that can help expand opportunities for our military spouses. By sharing the success stories and advantages of MSEP, you can inspire more companies to join our cause. I promise to do the same, sharing your incredible support for military spouses during my travels across military installations. We need to ensure everyone knows what a fantastic opportunity MSEP offers for military spouses to access powerful career-building resources. Let me just share with you, I have had privileges of meeting so many military spouses from different communities. I've heard the same stories, the excitement of landing a job after months, sometimes years of searching, the relief of being able to contribute to the family financial stability, the gratitude of working for an employer who understands and values their unique experiences. This is what we do in our military community. You shift the narrative, not just by hiring qualified and talented military spouses, but investing in them, developing them, and advocating for them within your industries. A special thanks to those companies that go above and beyond their creativity and support for military spouses. Whether you've created military spouse-ready leave policies, job transfer programs, or even your own internally funded fellowship programs, your efforts are incredibly appreciated. Remember, by making your workplace military spouse-ready, you're hiring someone who is skilled, adaptable, and exactly what every company needs to succeed. This is a win-win partnership between military spouses and MSEP. Thank you for creating pathways to professional growth for military spouses, acknowledging our talents and potential, and being a vital part of our military spouse journey. Together, we're not just opening doors, we are strengthening the foundation of our military and corporate communities alike. Every small act of support ripples through the lives of our military families, empowering them and enriching our organizations. Let's continue to champion that cause together and make lasting impact. Our collective efforts today will lead to a stronger and more resilient future for all. So thank you so much.
Mrs. Brown, thank you so much, not just for your words today, but for your unwavering support for military families. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's induction ceremony. I think listening to the breadth of employment industries that we hear today, maybe our new theme is burritos to beds and breakfasts. But it really is amazing to hear all of the different industry sectors that our new partners represent joining those partners that we already have in place. The next 2 days are filled with workshops, panels, and discussions, networking across sectors and industries, all focused on military spouse employment. As our employer partners move forward in bringing more spouses into their workforce, the Department of Defense remains committed to improving your experience as employer partners. That is something that we will be focusing on over the next year to make sure that we're providing you with the tools you need to be successful in engaging with military spouses. Thank you again for attending, and that completes today's ceremony. Thank you.